Okay, so I'm gonna cover the 3 main skills that made me 7 figures in dropshipping. So it's 3 things which it comes down to, and I've seen that that's by far the most important things. Number 1 is by far the most important, and that's having a dropshipping eye. So having this dropshipping eye is a very interesting concept, and you can only develop it after years of practice or with a lot of help. So for me, it took a couple of years until I really understood what a good product is. It doesn't come down to like specific couple of criteria which I see and then it just fits them or not. It's also a general feeling you have on products at some point. When you reach an advanced level of dropshipping, you see a product and you kind of can already tell if it's good or if it's bad. Sometimes you have products in between and it makes sense to test some of them, but with some products, I just know for a fact, okay, for sure this is a winner. And for some products, it's a middle ground, and for some, it's for sure a loser. So how do you develop this dropshipping eye, and what should you look out for? So because finding good products is by far the most important thing in dropshipping in general, this is key, okay? So you can learn it one out of 2 ways. So in the beginning, you cannot trust yourself. Never trust yourself as a beginner, because you're gonna see a product and you're gonna think, that's a great product, I would love that product, or I know so many people who would like this product. So one thing you have to remember is, as a beginner, you can never trust yourself. If you think that a product is good because you have a good experience with a product, or you know a lot of people which could buy it, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean it's a winner, it doesn't mean anything. The main things you have to keep in mind is that you have to have specific criteria in place and always focus on only those before testing a product. I've seen this mistake done by a lot of beginners where they just test by a feeling. And you have to have a specific system in place where it doesn't matter what you do, every product goes through a pipeline and it gets checked. Does it fit this criteria? Does it fit this? Does it fit this? Does it fit this? And if everything is a yes, then you can only test it. If everything, or at least some of the points, are a no, you should probably not test it, because you should make your life easier and test the best products. You can develop the dropshipping eye by setting criteria and then looking on products, and before going through each individual criteria, thinking, is the product good, yes or no? And then evaluating that with the criteria. How we do it with the students is we have a point system. If my students come to me with, for example, 30 products, we evaluate them very, very strictly. For example, if a product has a 3x margin, you can have 1 point for that. If the product is getting sold right now, it gets another point. If you find really good clips and creatives for the product, it gets another point. If the upsell potential is there, so if it makes sense to buy 3 or 4 pieces of that product, it also gets a point. And we have a bunch of criteria basically, and you just have a point system. For example, if a product has 10 points, that's great. If a product has 3 points or 4 points, that's really bad. And then you can kind of evaluate what's good and what's bad by that point system. And it's a really strong system if you have the right criteria in place. However, I look at the product before I even look at the points. I just evaluate by myself. I like this product or I don't like this product. And normally when I like a product, 99% of the time, the product will have the most amount of points. So at this point, the points are kind of in my head and I just go through them immediately without even really thinking, and have that dropshipping eye developed over the course of so much time. But you can do the same, and doing this exercise really helps. Going through the points and then thinking before even going through them, actually, if you like the product or not. Okay, so that's that. Point number 2. The skill which helped me so much with dropshipping is having seamless creatives. Creatives that look like they're not even ads. If you're on Instagram or you're on Facebook, you stop scrolling when you see funny videos, niche videos which are interesting to you, or just general videos which kind of spark your attention for any way. You normally don't stop scrolling when you see ads, right? And most people are like that. You have to make a video which looks like it's not an ad. So how can you do this? So it's 2 things. Either you have to make a video which is a recommendation by an influencer. And if you would have your best influencer, your favorite influencer, talk about that product and explaining to you why they struggled with a swollen face and how it helped with basically getting a great jawline, then you will be more inclined to buy that product than if you just see a ad which basically says, hey, buy my thing is the best, da 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 da. And it has to look like a recommendation. Even if it's not your favorite influencer, if it's just a random guy who looks cool and basically tells you how this helped him with his jaw, it's gonna spark your attention because you listen to people who are not promoting their things. You listen to people who are promoting other things where it looks like they don't have an agenda behind it, okay? So keep that in mind and have that principle of a recommendation always in your head. The other thing is just think of the formats of videos you see on Instagram or Facebook and replicate them. Don't make your ads look like they're super salesy and like they look like dropshipping ads. You have to make them look like they are videos which fit into your feed. So look at all the videos you see and think, how is the text size? How is the font? What is the structure of it? How does it start? Is it an unboxing video or does it have specific text in specific areas? How is the video structure? And if you look at the most viral videos, you're gonna see that. They're gonna have all one pattern, okay? So through that, you're gonna have a better CTR, CPC, CPM, everything is just gonna be cheaper. The traffic, good traffic will come to your website for way less money. And also you have to have that mindset where you think, would it make sense to repost this video if you're an influencer? If you look at any person on Instagram, does it make sense for them to post your ad or not? Does it make sense for a meme page or a niche page to post your ad because it just gives value, provides value to their customers or to their audience or not? And if the answer is no, then you have to restructure everything. The ad has to be a really, really good video, okay? That's the second most important part in dropshipping in general. By far the most important is the product and then the video comes. So if that is in place, if those two things are in place, you're gonna make money no matter what. If your targeting sucks, if your product page is really bad and it just looks almost scammy, it's gonna work out still and you're gonna make a lot of money through that. And the last thing which changed my business entirely is having a money-making focus. So if you look at your to-do list, how many of those things you wanted to do today are gonna make you the most amount of money? For example, creating a logo, changing a little thing on the logo, or like making a new theme, or whatever it is which is not gonna be a game changer for your dropshipping business. If that's on your to-do list, do that as the last thing before you go to bed, okay? So do that whenever you have time, whenever you have free time. Don't do that as a priority. So for that, you first need to have a priority list in place. And as I already said, product by far the most important. Number 2 is the creative. Number 3 is the targeting and the Facebook ad setup. And number 4 is the product page in the store. Let's say you have a losing product and it's not working on Facebook, nothing really works. You try to change your logo, your theme, your copy on the product page, your pictures there. It's not gonna be a game changer. No matter what you do there, you're not gonna see a crazy increase in profitability through that. You're not gonna turn a losing product into a winner by only doing that. Unless you had like a 0 out of 10 product page. It was really, really horrible. You overpriced it, you made really big mistakes and it looks super scammy, then yes, maybe that makes sense. However, if it's a 5 out of 10, it's a baseline product page, you're not gonna have that, okay? Also, the only thing which actually matters and which could make a big impact is the pricing. So the pricing is one thing you could actually split test, which is on a product page, and that makes sense. But the other things are not the priority, okay? Product, creative, targeting are. That's the most important. And if you do that right, it's gonna work out way, way easier. So if you have a to-do list, and you should have a to-do list 100%, look at that and check what will make you the most amount of money. Which of those points are gonna make the most amount of money for you and what do you have to do first? And that's exactly how you determine the most important things. If you cut your to-do list by 80%, let's say you only can do 2 things out of 10 today. Which 2 are those gonna be? If you think like that, you have to be very, very brutal with cutting out everything which doesn't really matter and make only the things which actually make an impact. So think like that and only do those things in the beginning, and later on when you have more free time, if you have time, then do the rest. However, focus on the most important. So if you do this right, trust me, you could actually cut your to-do list by like 70% minimum and get away with the same money you make or make even more if you only do the things which actually matter. So you could work less and make more by only doing this. And just one trick I would give you here as well, write down the 3 most important things you are going to do tomorrow in the evening of the day before. So write down the 3 things which if you would do them tomorrow, then you would already have a very productive day. And do them first and the rest comes later. Okay? So again, those 3 things, when I realized them and when I actually found out how to do all of them, it changed my business entirely. I went from making a couple of $1,000s to 6 and 7 figures, and it changed everything completely. So hopefully you will do the same and actually execute the strategies I'm telling you here, because it's really important. Think to yourself, be brutally honest, what are you doing wrong here? Which of those things you don't do yet, and do them and apply them to your business, okay? So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one.